One of the admins for Beauty is different as well as the creator. I'm just making this short video because I've got to start off for work soon. Just to kind of give you an update on things. We're trying to be a little bit more interactive at the moment, doing these video things, and also we're arranging like meetups, and we've got an impending gig as well, which we're trying to sort out at the moment. I just wanted to do this short video today to go through some tips on handling anxiety and just generally maintaining a little bit more of a positive kind of lifestyle. Since I've come back to Bradford, I've made quite a lot of changes in my daily routine. I mean, for one, I'm working as opposed to actually going to school now, which is still a bit strange for me to comprehend sometimes because I do miss doing like academic stuff. But yeah, I've compiled just like a list of a few tips that I've kind of found have helped me. It's a struggle every day to kind of not give in to the negative things that might be happening around me or the negative vibes that other people are kind of putting across in my presence, but it's something that I'm finding quite worth it because you can say to yourself, I've managed to stick through and persevere with certain things. You have your off days, but you can still say I've gone back onto handling my stress and anxiety quite well. So yeah, this is just like a short list, and I'm probably going to ramble and seem really weird and irrelevant, and I'm trying as hard as I can not to do that. Right, so tip number one, make lists of things. Now that sounds probably really neurotic and stuff, but it actually really helps to just basically keep organised. I've always found that it helps to compartmentalise things. I've had a few friends go through breakups, as well as myself obviously, and making lists of things can really help because self-esteem wise, I can honestly say I've just never really liked myself at all, and I can't really say that that's changed now, but I try to acknowledge certain things about myself and about situations by literally writing them out in list form, and then it helps to kind of reflect and just take your time to go over things in a way that's like you're observing from the outside, and when you kind of remove yourself from the situation and just kind of write it out. Yeah, it can help to just organise your thoughts almost. That's probably going to sound like some psychology lesson I used to get told to like brainstorm all the time by Mr. Philip. But anyway, it does come in handy. And also just list for daily things like when you wake up in the morning and you think I'm going to get this stuff done today, whatever, put it into list form and tick it off, and it's so satisfying to say that you've actually done it. Although, you know, tip number two is actually don't put too much pressure on yourself to kind of reach and attain unrealistic kind of targets within a day. I think there's a lot of pressure applied by schools and just workplaces nowadays that you have to kind of run around and do things that it's not human to be able to do. I'm not saying just go for a really chill vibe and don't do anything at all, but I'm saying know realistically what you're going to physically be able to do in a day, and don't allow yourself to kind of feel like you're not living up to expectations when you might actually have too much on your plate to be able to handle by yourself, especially within like a 24-hour target time. And that's how I'd best do it, like look for what you need to do within a day, and then you can just, you know, work through it, and then the next day start the cycle again. So that's tips one and two. Make lists of things and don't put too much pressure on yourself with like unattainable targets. Tip three, to kind of help you look up, one of the main things that I would recommend is make plans for the future. And I don't mean like 4 years time. I mean like think forward and find like a free spot or holidays and stuff like that where you can schedule something in. So recently, Neha and I decided to book a trip to Amsterdam, which was quite spontaneous, as in like we just decided one day why don't we travel, and then things slotted together, and we thought Amsterdam seems like something that we'd like to do because she's got, you know, family there and stuff like that. So now every time I kind of have a bit of a slip down a kind of thing, I just think I'm going to Amsterdam. And sometimes, you know, I'll just text Neha or call her and be like, we're going to Amsterdam, and then, you know, you pick back up again. So yeah, that's the other one, make plans for the future. And it doesn't have to be like an expensive thing like let's travel and actually leave the country. It could be meet up with so and so, or venture out into some woodland area and look at trees, or, you know, just anything else. It doesn't have to be weird stuff like that, although I would be perfectly satisfied just looking at trees, but that's me. The next tip I've got is venture into like physical exercise and trying something new. I happen to be like probably the most unfit person that I knew prior to actually joining the gym when I came back to Bradford. The gym is like literally almost in my back garden, so it's very convenient for me to go. Nate has got a membership as well, so it's kind of a social thing sometimes. But in terms of getting actual physical exercise, I feel so happy within myself that I've taken action and of scheduling time like on a weekly basis to go to the gym and just work on myself. It's nice to be alone actually there sometimes and just put my earphones in and I listen to the Falls and stuff like that. And it's really groovy because I get song ideas while I'm there, but also I'm sweating half to death on that cross training machine thinking to myself, wow, you're actively pursuing something right now. You're in the pursuit of a better you, and you know that because you can feel the sweat leaving your body, and that's really satisfying and cool. So yeah, it doesn't just have to be joining the gym. Like, go for walks. I know it's not like hardcore physical activity, but it still makes you feel good, like physically, like you're doing something. Do yoga, Pilates. A bit of spiritualism never hurt anybody. Like, I'm getting back into those roots now, thinking about kind of like where I stand with certain ideas of religion and spiritualism, and yeah, it's really good to have some sort of new activity that you can put your energy into. I know a lot of people who do stuff like pole dancing. I know that might be a bit low for some people, but it's something new, it's challenging, it's exciting, you make new friends, it gives you something to do on a weekly basis or fortnightly basis, how often it happens, I don't know. But anyway, next tip, spend quality time with friends and family. Um, One thing I'd say about that is, in terms of friends, if you're around people who are encouraging negative attributes of you or who bring you to a negative sort of place, it's time to reevaluate the kind of people you're spending time with. You need to have the kind of friends that are going to support you through your troubles and are going to enhance and, be there to build a better you. And I know that sounds like, I don't know how to, well, okay, I do know how to convey it and explain it. You need to be around the kinds of people where you can have your emotional, like, breakdowns and you can have these reevaluations of like philosophical proportions at like 3 o'clock in the morning, but you need to have those kinds of people that will not enable you, like will not be the enablers to like your negative states. They're going to be the people that are going to encourage you actively getting back up and say, yes, you need to go do this today, and yes, you need to feel this way about yourself and be positive, and they'll be there to help you with that. And same with family, like you need to be around your family because they'll support you. Maybe not everybody, you might have certain family members you can talk to more and stuff, and it's not always just talking. Like I have really cool relatives where we can go swimming together or walking or jogging, and then I've got other relatives where we go and talk about music and gigs and let's go camping in the summer with some family relatives and let's do this and that, and it's just positive happy vibes, but at the same time they're willing to listen and be there. It's just a really nice reciprocated kind of relationship. It's good to have those. Um, but then that leads on to also my next tip, which is kind of learn to spend time by yourself. My auntie gave me this advice a few months ago, and it rings around in my head a lot because I think that's probably the hardest thing, tolerating your own company and not being self-destructive and not being prone to dragging yourself down to these really thoughtful states where you overanalyze things too much. Or maybe that's just me, but I think a lot, and in those kind of states it's very easy to feel down. But that's probably the best advice because I'm finding ways such as making music again and writing. They're reflective, but I can kind of zone in and then zone out, and I'm back to just being okay again. So learning to spend time by yourself is good because you shouldn't rely entirely always on other people. That way, if like your friends leave, or and I don't mean like leave your life, I mean just like they leave your house after they've been there for a few hours and then you start to feel that down vibe. It's a lot easier to kind of alleviate that if you can learn to kind of tolerate that time by yourself and find productive things to do by yourself and positive like activities to help you see yourself in a better way in that time, instead of mourning over the loss of your friend who's just gone home on the 636 or whatever bus they take. That's just near house bus. I'm not going to tell you your address, that's a bit weird that I just... Anyway, okay, last point before I just keep rambling on and I'm going to be late for work. productive leisure tasks, you know, like I spend a lot of time writing novels, poetry, songs, play music. I go walking when when I feel angry, when I feel sad, when I feel great, whatever vibe. I just walk sometimes. It's nice just to be around rural things for me. You know, I get my time away that way. Um, you know, pursue the things of interest to you. Never put them on the back burner. When I was doing A levels, I remember recreational reading wasn't a possibility because I had that much work to do all the time. Playing guitar and stuff, I always put it off and thought, you know what, you can learn to do that at another point. Always find a bit of time to do those things that you love. Don't just like let them disappear into thin air. Keep them going somehow. Um, because that's where you get your kick from. That's what balances out the stress of going to school and going to work and doing those things that drag you down sometimes. Um, yeah, make time for those always. And with that being my final note, I am going to go now because I am aware of my impending doom if I don't set off soon to get to work for my 8.5 hour shift. But yeah, comment, reply back with a video, whatever you feel like. Bye.